Hi, this is Arrays and Lists. My name is Chris Lee, and my student number is S224817878. For this demo, I have a code snippet and a method that I'll walk through. The first one will be for lists, and the second one will be for arrays. We'll do the walkthrough with the debugger as per usual. Okay, so lists are essentially just a collection of elements. We can declare it with a class name, a data type, a reference variable, and then just the stock standard procedure for declaring any other object. For this particular snippet, we're going to be generating a random number, and the idea of the program is that we are going to be adding names to a list. We don't know how many elements we're going to have or how many names we're going to have, and that's why we've opted to use a list. In this particular instance, the random number we have is 5, so we're going to have 5 elements. We use a for loop that's going to iterate up to the count of the random number, which is 5. And we are going to add elements to our list with the add method. You have two sort of options. You have add and you have insert. For add, we're just appending to the end of the list with no particular order. And for insert, we would provide an index and we would place it at that index. For this particular snippet, it doesn't matter where they go, so we're just adding them onto the end. We're going to provide some values as we move through. Okay, so we've provided our 5 elements. I'm going to step out of our for loop now, and the next thing we're going to do is use the count method, and that's just going to return the number of elements we have in the list, which is 5. And the final thing that we want to do is to iterate through the list. We're going to access every element at different index positions, and we're going to print them to the console. And at the end, we can see that the values we provided are the same ones that printed out. That's a pretty good example for lists. We had no idea how many elements we were going to have, so we wouldn't have been able to use an array, which we can walk through next. I'll just go through and I'll comment out that. I'll go to our method. Now, this method is called palindrome, and the idea here is we're going to give it an array, and if the elements in that array are in the same order forwards as they are backwards, then the array is a palindrome. If they're not, then it is not a palindrome. Using our debugger again, we're going to declare our arrays first. It's a similar sort of process. We're going to give it a data type, so it's integers for this method, our reference variable, and then you need to declare a size. So it'll be a fixed size. This is where it differs from lists. You have two sort of options. You can give it just a number, maybe like 5 if you know you have 5 elements, or you can just populate it directly with your elements. That is the option that I went with. Now all of these are down in our watch list here. We can expand on them if we need. We have all of our elements and their index positions. We're going to call the palindrome method and we're going to pass it an array. The first one is test array. Now the method itself is going to first run a conditional, and what we're checking for here is that if the array is null or if the array is empty. Those are two distinct sort of states. Null means that we are not referencing anything in memory, and empty means that we have initialized and declared our array, but we don't have any elements in it. If either of those were to be true, then our array would not be a palindrome, so we would just return false. Next, we declare a couple of counters. We give the start counter 0 to correspond to the 0th position at the beginning of the array, and then we have the end array length -1, and that's just going to give us the last element in the array for whatever array we pass to it. We go into a while loop, and so while that start value is lower than the end value or less than the end value, we're going to keep looping. And this is sort of where the magic happens. Here we are checking the value of the element at the start index, and the element at the end index. If they don't match, that's going to return false, because if they don't match, then you will not be able to reverse the array. It will not be a palindrome. We'll increment our count, and we'll go. So now we've incremented our count to 1 and end, and we can come down here and check that the values here are 2 and 2. So in our array, we're comparing these two elements here inside. Increment and decrement our counters, and we can return true for that one. Too early. So we know that we can say 1, 2, 2, 1 is the same as 1, 2, 2, 1. We'll do another one, our second test array, or test array 2. It's the same if condition. If the array is null or empty, it's not, so we're not going to execute the body. We're going to go through, declare our counters. Now, the second test array is actually got more elements, so this is why we use the array length -1, because this value will be different to what it was before. In this specific example, it's 6. We go through and we check the elements, we compare them. Again, the next element is 2 and 2. That's the same, so that's all good. Increment and decrement. Again, we're checking 3 and 3. It's looking good so far. Now, test array 3 here, if you notice quickly before we go through it, is 3, 2, and 1. If we were to reverse the order of that, it would not be the same, so this will not be a palindrome. We give our counters. We check the values. Now, 3, which is the first, which is index 0, first element, and 1, which is the last element in the array, they do not match. So we're actually going to execute the body this time. We move in, we return false. And if that's printed, we now have false. Thank you.